Welcome to day 6, guys. Hope you're all okay. So today is about balancing our energies, bringing a little bit of calm, helping to deal with any sort of stress, overwhelm. We're going to take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. And first of all, just take a few deep cleansing breaths. So nice deep inhale, long exhale as you start to ground all of your awareness down into the body and into this present moment. Filling the chest and the belly and then letting it all go. Keep going with this. Open all the torso. Create lots of space for the breath. And every time you exhale, just sort of settle into the moment. Now bringing the hands together at the heart, we're going to take an inhale and reach the palms up to the ceiling, and then exhale, bring them down. Now, taking your legs out in front of you, we're just going to start by bending the knees, opening your feet as wide as the mat, taking the hands behind, pointing the fingers inwards. You can come up onto the fingertips if it feels too much pressure on your wrists. You're just going to start to lift through the chest. So taking a couple of breaths, letting that chest lift up to the ceiling. Nice deep inhale, long exhale. And then releasing from there, keeping the legs apart and seeing if you can bring the hands to touch the ground or a block. You can pop a block there and just letting the body come forward to just stretch out and release the spine or the muscles around the spine there. So you can use a block if it's too far for the floor. Now come up, we're going to bring the arches of the feet together, take a hold of them and see if you can just sort of rock on your sit bones and bring a bit of balance there. Now if you're super balanced or you want a bit of fun, you can try straightening out one leg and the other for a bit of a stretch, but that is just an option. Otherwise, just keep the heels where they are, just lifting up and really lift up through the spine, through the chest. Take a nice deep breath, pay attention to that long spine. Now releasing and bringing the feet back down, so soles of the feet together, and we're just going to come into Baddha Konasana, so starting to just pulse the knees a few times, sitting up tall through the spine, taking an inhale. As you exhale, just start to ground the knees towards the earth. So the spine's lifting and the knees are grounding. And then just taking hold of the feet and giving the feet a nice little rub, a nice little massage. A little bit of nurture, maybe into the ankles. Take a nice deep breath and fold forward a little bit. And now keeping the right foot in, you're going to extend the left leg out, sole to the inner thigh. And you're going to take that left hand onto the right thigh and then inhale the right arm up and over towards that left leg. So keep your chest nice and open and squeeze the calf and the thigh together on that right foot just to keep your knee nice and supported. Bring it back down. I'm going to swap to the other side. So you're sort of making an L shape, extending the right leg this time. Sole of the left foot to the inner thigh. Now you might want to put a block under your knee, pad it out. You might not want to come very far over. So whatever works, right hand to the left thigh, reaching that left arm over any amount towards it. As if you're going in the direction of the toes. Of course, you don't have to be anywhere near the toes, as you can see. I am not. This is focusing more on just getting a nice stretch through the side body. On the next exhale, you can release that down, release the leg. Once more, we are legs out in front, knees nice and deeply bent. We're going to take the arms up on the inhale, lift out of the lower belly and just sort of drape yourself forward into a nice forward fold. So start with the knees bent, and you can keep the knees bent if you prefer, or you can start to straighten the legs out, sending the sternum forward and just getting a deeper sort of hamstring stretch there if you want, or keep the knees bent for just more of a back release. So whatever feels good for you today. So coming up, hands behind your back, chest lifts towards the ceiling. And then releasing that there, and we're going to come through onto the shins. So one of my least favourite things coming up in a moment. In fact, no, we're not there yet, and now I've scared you. Hands and knees, we're actually just going to rock the hips from side to side, one way and the other. And then we're going to start to make some nice circular motions here. So this is a bit intuitive. I want you to close your eyes and just move in a way that feels good. It might be small circles, you might make them big, sending the hips back. You might even dip your hips in the middle. So you're going in one direction and then the other, a nice circular motion, and then coming back to that tabletop position for a few cat-cows. So inhale, look forward, lift the tailbone. Exhale, tuck the tailbone round the spine. Tailbone lifts again as you inhale, and tailbone tucks as you exhale. One more here. Nice and slow, nice and fluid. And then coming back to that neutral spine. You're going to bring your hands onto the floor, open your elbows wide. See if you can bring your chest down to the ground or towards the ground for a puppy pose. So the bottom stays in the air, hips above the knees, and the chest melts down, trying to open up that chest and upper back. And again, you just go in that direction. You don't have to go all the way in. And then from here, in a moment, we're going to come forward. You're going to stay on the forearms, come all the way forwards, and then step your feet back into a forearm plank. So taking a breath here, just for a moment. Tummy tight, push back through the heels, ground into those forearms. Take a breath. And then you can lower the knees down and sit the bottom back towards the heels into Balasana. Take a breath. Wonderful. So coming up onto the shins, you're going to sweep the arms behind the back, clasp the fingers, and just take a little chest opener. Roll the shoulder blades together, open through the chest. And then take the hands in front of you, clasp the fingers, turn the palms forward, and round through the spine. Inhale, the arms lift up, and exhale, release. So now we're coming to my least favourite. Tucking the toes, sitting back on the heels. So this is a bit of foot yoga. Now, if it's too intense, keep your hands on the floor in front of you. Otherwise, sit up tall. Feel that stretch in the feet and the toes. Take a nice deep breath. And then start to bring yourself forward, coming off of the heels, and come right up onto your knees. So standing up from the knees and just thinking about your posture for a moment. Head over heart, heart over pelvis, just lengthening that tailbone down. And you're going to put your right arm in front and then wrap the left arm under and round for eagle arms. So the palms are facing you. Lift the elbows. Take a few breaths here as you stretch out the shoulders. If it's a bit intense, you can just have your forearms touching. So nice deep breath here. Keep drawing in below the navel. As you exhale, sort of contract the tummy. Roll the shoulders. Now take the arms out in front, clasp the fingers, point the index fingers forward. Engage the thighs and start to rock backwards and forwards. I always call this the matrix move in my classes. So we're just using the thighs and the core here just to take us backward and forwards and then release the arms. So left arm in front of you, palm facing you. Right arm goes under the elbow and around. Eagle arms. So we want that length through the spine, little lift in the elbows. Drawing the navel in towards the spine. So we take an inhale, we lift, and as we exhale, navel into spine. Inhale, exhale, focus, navel into spine. So we're just working with that energy, with that prana as well as we're holding this posture. And release. Give your shoulders a little roll to release that. And then you're going to sweep the arms behind the back, clasp the fingers, shoulder blades together. Now for this, you're going to tuck your toes. You're going to start to come forward. Now you might have to bring your hands down and you might need a block to put your head on instead of the floor. So you're leaning forward. You come into the crown of the head. So the crown of the head is coming to the block or to the floor. Not a lot of pressure on your head, okay? So if you don't feel stable enough having your hands behind your back, please bring them down. Lift the arms up, be on the crown of the head. Keep sort of lifting up away from the mat through the core. So drawing that navel in, lifting up. You might need to have your toes tucked here for stability, or they can be untucked and pushing into the top of the feet. Release the arms. Bring yourself all the way back up onto the toes. So you're back into that lovely toe stretch, foot stretch. Take a nice deep breath. Find that length through the spine again, all the way up to the crown of the head. So we're going to untuck the toes, give them a nice release there. And then coming forwards, you're going to be taking your right leg out behind and then stepping it all the way up between the hands. Check the knee and ankles in line, and you're just going to put that right foot to the inside of the foot. So that your elbow's sort of pushing against the knee, and then send your left lower leg to the left, open the chest and lift the arm. Now, if you're rounding in, if you can't sort of open the chest, you might need to lift your hand a bit further up away from the ground or use a block. So the elbow is sort of pushing into the knee, getting a nice inner thigh stretch. The arms straight up, opening through that chest, and that left leg is, lower leg is over to the right some as well. So a couple more breaths, and then start to bring the arms down. Come into a half split now. So hands are framing the foot. You're going to start to straighten out the front leg. Hand either side, pointing the toes up if you can, and rounding over that leg. Take a nice deep breath as you stretch out the hamstrings, pull that right hip back a bit, keep your hips level, and then take it back to the lunge, lift the chest and come back to your tabletop position. So we're going to do the other side. Left leg, inhale, extends out behind. Exhale, bring it forward, step it all the way up. Knee and ankles in line, bring that left arm on the inside of the leg. Start to press into that left knee as you open the chest and lift the arm, making any adjustments that you need to do. Remember to send that right lower leg back as well. And then keep pushing open that knee, that thigh, and lifting up through the arm. It's almost like a bit of a variation of side angle, this is. A nice deep stretch in the inner thigh. Take an inhale, exhale, hands to the mat framing the foot. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, start to send the bottom back, straighten out the front leg. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward as you come over that front leg, and take a couple of breaths there. Now start to walk it back to that lunge. Inhale, lift the chest, and then step the leg back behind. You're going to cross the legs and see if you can cross the ankles, see if you can sit back onto your bottom. Don't worry if you can't. And now you're going to come into a seated position, and we're going to do a little bit of breath work to finish, a little bit of pranayama. So what we did yesterday, where we was doing the visualization, we're going to do that and potentially add on into Nadi Shodhana with the hands. So starting first of all, just to connect to your breath, hand on the heart, hand on the belly, and just take a few nice deep breaths just to steady the energy here. Slowing the breath down, making it equal. So Samavriti, breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4. And just letting the breath steady, letting the energy balance. And then if you want to, you can come to Chin Mudra, so thumb and index finger together on each hand. So we're going to come to that visualization. So inhaling up the left nostril, exhaling out of the right. Inhale up the right nostril, exhale out of the left. Inhale up the left, exhale out of the right. So keep going with that. And there is an option in a moment to come into Nadi Shodhana, which can be a little bit confusing. You might need to sort of pause it and retry it, but you might also be already familiar. So keep going with the visual. And then in a moment, what's going to happen, if you want to use the hands and come to Nadi Shodhana, you're going to take your 2 fingers of the right hand, so the first finger and middle finger, and place it on the third eye. So you're placing those fingers there on the third eye. And then it's going to be the thumb and the ring finger that you're going to cover the nostrils with to alternate the nostrils, okay? So bring in the index finger, first middle finger to the forehead. Use your thumb to cover your right nostril. Inhale up the right. And then cover your left nostril with the ring finger and exhale out of that right side. Inhale back up the right side, switch it over, cover the nostril, and exhale out of the left side. Back up the left side, switch it over, out of the right side. So keep going. Make sure the breath's not forced in any way. Find a way of breathing in a smooth way. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, you can stick with the visualization of the alternate nostril breathing. So this is a breath technique that we use to balance energies. The masculine, the feminine, the right and left side of the brain, or yin and yang. We want to bring it all together, and we do this through alternate nostril breathing. So make this the last round now. You'll complete finish by exhaling out of your left nostril. And then release the hand, breathe through both nostrils. Notice how you're feeling. And then let's take the hands together at the heart as we complete the practice. Bring the thumbs to the forehead and bow the heads. Well done. Namaste.